His client list reads like a who's who of corporate giants. He's worked with some of the sporting world's greatest figures, and his materials are used by the largest athletic programs in the country. He's currently coaching companies who are literally doubling and tripling their results. And yet, you might not even know his name.
Andy Andrews.
Andy Andrews.
Andy Andrews.
Andy Andrews.
Andy Andrews.
Andy, thanks for coming on.
A New York Times reporter recently wrote, Andy Andrews has quietly become one of the most influential people in America. His books have hit every major bestseller list in the world and have done so in 5 different genres. They have been translated into 40 languages and sold more than 20 million copies. One of those books, The Traveler's Gift, was named by ABC's Good Morning America as one of the 5 books you must read in your lifetime. In fact, Robin Roberts, the host of Good Morning America, was recently asked by the New York Times Magazine, who was the person you've been most excited to meet? And Robin's answer, Andy Andrews. Now, Andy worked for 8 years with America's Special Operations Command, a time spanning 3 different commanders and 1 Special Operations Commander of NATO. Now, Andy works primarily with businesses and organizations, teaching specifics from his proprietary material. But in a world filled with consultants, speakers, and experts in every industry, this process and the results it has proven to produce have now placed Andy Andrews in a unique position. He is in a category of one.
When I tell people that I'm going to teach them to compete in ways their competition doesn't know a game is going on, I'm not talking about marketing strategies. I'm talking about competing in a different time and space. Every industry, every sport has a standard, it has an industry standard. There's a best practice. Everybody knows how the game is played. In football parlance, it's from the snap to the whistle. And everybody knows that's the fundamental part of the game. You got to be good from the snap to the whistle, but if you can also legitimately find a way to compete from the whistle to the next snap, while everybody else is just standing around, you'll run them off the field.
The core of this unusual business philosophy is described in one of Andy's newest books. Now, Forbes magazine, connecting that book with the unprecedented level of success being enjoyed by his clients, called The Bottom of the Pool one of 7 books every entrepreneur must read. It is this particular theme and material, competing at a previously unknown level, that consumes much of Andy's time these days. And because of the narrowed focus, he's now able to work with entire corporations, even small businesses, on a yearly contract in an affordable way. The process is called Creating Measurable Results.
Andy's not a motivational speaker. What he is, he's a teacher. He's a teacher of how you think. And when you have a solution that you think is it, what he teaches you is that's not even part of it. It can be a lot deeper, a lot further, a lot more questions to be asked or talk to different people. And he challenges it all to think further than you would normally think.
Steve Jacobson is the founder and CEO of Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, a company of more than 10,000 employees.
When you first met him, he said we could double our business in a year. So at Andy, the first reaction when somebody tells you that, you don't believe it.
He said, we did $5.4 billion last year. And I said, yeah, I know. And I think you could double that. He said, well, it took us 19 years to get to 5.4. I said, yeah, I know. And I think you could double that in a year.
We doubled our business the first year, then we doubled the next year, and then we doubled it again.
And my proudest moment was when I saw that they had been named the #1 company with 2,500 employees or more, #1 company to work for in America.
And 7 years later, we were over $72 billion. And Andy has had a lot to do with that. And you say, how? He's the one that challenged us on our mindset and our culture being a day-to-day discipline. Andy's the person that talked about all the little things to do to compete when the competition doesn't know there's a game. For example, there's things we do each day that we're not going to share, that were encouragements from Andy that other companies don't do, that we do quietly, but it's part of our competition, how we do compete. Andy was the person who introduced that to us.
Andy has collaborated with Dr. Barb Rembiesa and itam.org for more than 10 years. ITAM, the International Association of IT Asset Managers, is a company that helps organizations bridge the gap between their business and technology assets. Now, Andy has helped ITAM gain what is perhaps the most impressive list of clients ever seen in any industry.
He really gets you thinking about the situation, and he'll just question you in a very easy way, and that light bulb will go on, and you'll really start to understand that, hey, I'm overcomplicating this. Since working with Andy, ITAM has worked with companies like Apple, Microsoft, Starbucks, Walmart,
Facebook, Instagram, the United Nations, NASA, Sony Pictures, American Airlines, the Department of the Army, the Department of the Navy, the State Department, the Department of the Interior.
We are in 126 countries currently, and we're up about 68% since his last visit. So there's that continued growth with Andy. If you're looking for measurable results with Andy, they're there. They're there from day one.
Creating measurable results is named specifically because of what it does. We are not adding to results, we are creating results that a company would not get normally. They don't even know these results are available.
Andy Andrews, he was going to show us how we were going to double our company.
Anthony Asquith is president and COO of One Water Marine, a publicly traded company that owns and operates the largest chain of boat dealerships in America.
And I came back after a few meetings with Andy and told some of our senior management team that, hey, we're going to double our business. And all of them looked at me like I was crazy. Like, how is this going to work? And as we began the process with Andy, our first store, our Miami store, doubled, and then it tripled. And just following simple processes that Andy helps us understand much better. Besides probably being up 400% in our business, what he's helped us achieve, he's made us better people.
Until you know why a principle works as it does, you'll never be able to harness its full power. Because when you know why a principle works as it does, you can apply it in areas that nobody else is seeing that it's relevant.
I can tell you one time in particular that he helped me, and it was my career.
Jimmy Yeary is a songwriter with #1 hits in 4 different genres of music. He has also collected 3 awards for Song of the Year and often records his own music in Nashville.
This is unbelievable. We just got Song of the Year. That's amazing. I went to Andy and I was expressing to him how much struggle I was having in my writing. I'd lost the passion. And during our visit, Andy tried to help me understand that what I did was the exception, that it was unique to me and how important that was. And for whatever reason, in that moment, the light bulb came on and I understood the principle of going to the bottom of the pool. And once I understood that, I went from a 2-year drought to having success again, 2 years of nothing to having more success than I ever had in my life, and still today sustaining that success.
And so if they want to produce more or double or triple, there's got to be some different thoughts. And those would not be coming from within the industry because they all think the same way.
The way Andy Andrews has helped us is he's made us think in a different way.
Lee Gibson is the CEO and president of Southside, a publicly traded bank based in Tyler, Texas.
A lot of the preconceived notions that we had and things we thought were true, he's helped us to unpack those and realize that there are other ways to take a look at that. Andy's helped us by increasing our loan production. Our loan officers are producing more loans and larger loans than they were on average 2-3 years ago, when he opened our eyes to the fact that basically everybody in your organization is in the sales position because everybody knows somebody, and we're seeing the fruits of that as well. And in January of 2021, Bank Director Magazine named us as one of the top 10 banking powerhouses in the country based on total return. Andy has helped us to achieve some of those accolades and was instrumental in that. He's so good at everything he does, and it's just been a real pleasure to work with him.
The first rule of what I do is you can't believe everything you think. Have you ever known something, you knew it, and you could argue it, and you could win the argument. And then you found out 6 months later, oh, well, that wasn't exactly right. There's a little left. If you've ever had that happen, is there a possibility that something that you know for sure right now, is there a possibility that your information may be incomplete, that it may be wrong? And you would say, well, Andy, of course, my information could be incomplete. Okay, I agree. But we don't know what that is, do we? And we don't know how many subjects it may cover. You can't believe everything you think. There's a lot of territory to gather if you want to double and triple your results.
Our graduation rate was kind of middle of the road.
In working with the superintendent of a school district in a low-income area, Andy was able to create a different kind of measurable result, significantly improved academic performance.
And the next year after Andy came, our graduation rate, we were number 4 in the state. So we're really pleased that we went kind of from middle of the pack, and that was a great impact.
There are industry standards and there are best practices, and people who are in first or second or third place, they're looking around and they're kind of at the top of the heap, and so they're doing what they consider great, and they are doing great. But there's that book, Good to Great, and I'm not talking about good to great. I'm talking about great to best.
The best. It's a rare level of achievement, perhaps because so few consider it a reachable target. Andy Andrews has now proven the best is not only reachable, it is a reasonable goal for you to set. At this very moment, your organization has been perfectly designed to produce exactly what it is producing. So the big question for you to consider is this: do you have a solid plan for dramatically increasing your current results? Get more information on what a quest for the best would look like for you at creatingmeasurableresults.com.